You didn't lose discipline. You lost direction. That fire you once had, it didn't burn out. It was buried, under pressure, under doubt, under distraction. You've been taught that motivation should appear first, that clarity must come before commitment. But it doesn't. The truth? If you don't know what to do, just start. Reconnect with purpose. That's where discipline begins, not in perfection, but in movement. Purpose isn't some grand idea waiting at the finish line. It's in the very next thing you do with intention. Every day you wake up and feel like the hours don't matter. It's not because you're lazy. It's because your mind is starving for direction. You're spinning, not stuck. There's a difference. Remember, discipline equals freedom, but only when it's aimed at something worth waking up for. Think of it like this. You're on the road and suddenly one tire bursts. What do? Pull over and wait for a tow truck? Or get out and change the damn tire? That's life. Purpose isn't about knowing your full route. It's about fixing the next wheel so you can keep going. Radical self-responsibility begins when you stop waiting for ideal conditions and start building under pressure. One choice at a time. That's how you build inner strength. Not by thinking, by acting despite confusion. Most people waste years waiting for a lightning strike of clarity. But clarity isn't found. It's forged. Through friction, through showing up, through discipline. So write that sentence even if the page is blank. Train today even if you're sore. Sit down and plan even if your goal feels fuzzy. Do the small things. They're not placeholders. They're the proof. You don't need motivation to move. You need movement to feel motivation. This is the starting line. A quiet moment where you choose to stop negotiating with your limits. You don't need to know what you were born to do. You just need to act like your actions matter. Because they do. Reconnect with purpose. Let that be your rebellion. You weren't born to scroll endlessly, to react, to wait for permission. You were born to direct your energy with discipline towards something only you can define. You don't find purpose by waiting. You uncover it by doing. This isn't about hustle. It's about coming home to yourself, to that feeling you had when you were younger, that you were meant for more, but didn't know where to begin. This is where you begin. Write, move, build, clean your space, have the hard conversation. Say no, say yes. Whatever it is, do it now, even if your hands shake, especially if they shake, because you don't need a map, you need a reason. And the only way to find your reason is to move. One more time. If you don't know what to do, just start. Start here. You don't need to overcome excuses by force. You outgrow them by choosing better standards. That's how mental toughness is built. Not in grand gestures, but in daily defiance of your own comfort. You hit snooze, you stay soft. You act when it's hard, you forge resilience. Discipline isn't the enemy of freedom. It's the foundation. The more you delay building structure, the more life will feel like chaos. Every excuse you entertain is a vote against your future self. Reconnect with purpose isn't just a phrase, it's a way back to yourself. You think you need more motivation, but what you need is proof. Proof that you can follow through. Proof that your habits can hold under pressure. That proof is built in silence, in sweat, in small choices. Build inner strength the way warriors do, by training even when no one is watching. Mental toughness isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about refusing to be ruled by impulse. You feel resistance? Good. That's the signal to move. That's where real change begins. Overcome excuses one action at a time. Excuses are stories your fear tells you. Rewrite them with your actions. You've waited long enough. Start building. Start becoming. Excuses are comforting until they cost you everything. The truth is harsh. No one is coming to save you. No deadline will save you from your distractions. No boss will hold your hand into growth. No algorithm will reward your laziness. You want change? It starts with one decision. Radical self-responsibility. That means no more excuses. No more justifications for why you didn't show up. No more blaming your past, your parents, your stress. Discipline isn't optional. It's your only way out. And here's the shift. You think freedom is about doing what you want. It's not. Freedom is doing what's needed, even when you don't feel like it. That's why discipline equals freedom. It's not a slogan, it's a map. When you commit to responsibility, you reclaim your power. That's how you build inner strength. One rep at a time, one decision at a time, one moment where you choose ownership instead of escape. You don't lack potential. You lack confrontation. Honest confrontation with yourself. with your lies, with the ways you've stayed small to avoid the pain of growth. Want mental toughness? Stop seeking comfort. Get uncomfortable. Do the thing you've avoided for years, the routine, the wake-up call, the boundaries. That's the battleground. You grow where it's hard. Reconnect with purpose doesn't mean find your dream job. It means wake up with a reason that burns hotter than your excuses. Something real, something raw, something worth the discipline it demands. The real enemy? Your narrative. The one that says you'll start tomorrow, that you need to feel ready, that someone else has it easier. That's not truth. That's fear in disguise. Fear thrives in delay. Responsibility kills it in motion. You overcome excuses not by thinking differently, but by acting decisively. You wake up and move before the excuses arrive. You plan the workout before the motivation shows up. You cut the distraction before it spirals. And when you fail, own that too. Radical self-responsibility doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you stop hiding. You fail, you learn, you get back up, stronger. Most people live in reaction. You want a different life? Live in decision. Build inner strength through repetition, through boredom, through the grind. That's where self-trust is forged, in the quiet hours when no one is watching. Discipline equals freedom, because when you can lead yourself, you're free from needing anyone else to do it. This isn't about punishment, it's about power. It's about becoming someone you can count on, no matter what's happening outside of you. Take ownership, all of it. The mess, the win, the slip, the structure, all of it is yours. That's the price of freedom, and also the reward. No more stories, no more delay. This is the moment you move, even if your voice shakes, even if your past haunts you. You are not your excuses. You are the decision that comes after them. Mental toughness is forged through resistance. The harder it gets, the more you learn to hold your line. You stop folding. You stop explaining. You stop needing approval to do what must be done. Overcome excuses by making discipline non-negotiable. You brush your teeth whether you feel like it or not. Why not treat your priorities the same way? Reconnect with purpose when it gets blurry. Ask, what matters more, temporary ease or long-term peace? Build inner strength by keeping promises to yourself, even the small ones, especially the small ones. Because when you do, you learn something radical. You are not helpless. You are not broken. You are not a slave to the past. You are simply unpracticed in responsibility. But that changes now. This is the reframe. Discipline isn't the prison, it's the key. You don't commit to structure to feel trapped. You commit so that you can stop living at the mercy of moods, opinions, and outside chaos. When you say yes to responsibility, you say yes to freedom. So start now, without fanfare, without waiting, without pretending it needs to be perfect. Just start. That's the only real way forward. Discipline equals freedom. Radical self-responsibility is the door. And action, that's the key. You win the day before the world wakes up. Mental toughness isn't loud. It's not aggressive. It's not about shouting affirmations or crushing goals. It's quiet, precise, and brutal. It's saying no when everything inside you wants to say yes. It's waking up early, not because you have to, but because you said you would. It's doing what must be done even when motivation dies. Discipline equals freedom, not because rules feel good, but because you stop negotiating with yourself. No more mental debates. No more emotional loopholes. No more just this once. Mental toughness is choosing the harder path on purpose because it leads you home. You won't always feel strong, but the strongest people aren't the ones who feel the best. They're the ones who act anyway. That's inner war. That's daily victory. The real battlefield isn't out there. It's the moment you feel tired, tempted, distracted, and you choose not to fold. That's where radical self-responsibility lives. In the moment no one sees, in the quiet before the choice. You don't need to feel inspired. You need to be dangerous to your old patterns, to your excuses, to the soft voice that tells you to stay in bed, to the part of you that wants comfort more than transformation. Build inner strength by repeating the hard thing until it becomes normal. Repetition is the crucible. Consistency is the victory. Reconnect with purpose when the grind feels empty. Ask yourself, why did I start? Who am I becoming? These aren't cheesy motivational slogans. They're lifelines, mental anchors in the storm. You overcome excuses by no longer entertaining them. You interrupt the thought before it takes root. You stand up before you can talk yourself down. You move before you stall. Mental toughness is forged by action, Not thinking, not planning, doing, showing up again and again and again. Discipline doesn't just build your future, it saves you from your present weakness. It saves you from the parts of yourself that would rather be liked than respected, safe than strong, passive than powerful. This is the reframe. You're not being harsh with yourself, you're being loyal. Loyalty isn't soft, it holds the line even when it hurts. Radical self-responsibility isn't about control, it's about liberation. Because when you lead yourself, you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you. And when you stop waiting, you start living. Mental toughness is self-respect in action, and every day you choose structure over softness, you remind yourself, you are not broken, you are building. You are not stuck, you are forging. You are not fragile, you are free. Mental toughness doesn't mean pretending you're fine. It means you keep moving through the storm, not around it. It's the ability to see failure, doubt, fear, and still take one more step. Reconnect with purpose every time you forget why it matters. Write it down, say it out loud. Let it burn brighter than your fatigue. You overcome excuses by preparing for them. You know when they'll come. After work, before the workout, when stress peaks. Plan for the weak moment. That's how you win it. Discipline equals freedom because it puts the steering wheel back in your hands. You no longer wait for permission. You don't need the weather, your mood, or the people around you to align. You move because it's who you are now. Build inner strength by keeping the small promises. Not scrolling until after your morning routine. Finishing what you started. Taking the stairs. Doing the uncomfortable. You don't need intensity, you need consistency. You won't always see progress, but that doesn't mean it's not working. Strength grows in silence, in repetition, in doing the hard thing while no one claps. This is the shift. Stop looking for ease. Look for alignment. Mental toughness is alignment with your future self, and every time you act from that version of you, the one who's already calm, clear, disciplined, you collapse the gap between who you were and who you're becoming. You're not waiting for change. You are it. You'll never be free until you stop clenching your own chains. That's the paradox of self-discipline. It feels like restriction until it sets you free. Most people chase freedom by doing what they want, but true freedom comes when you stop doing what's destroying you. You think holding on makes you strong, to control, to past pain, to self-pity. But strength is in surrender, not to others, to truth, to action. To the version of you who's done making excuses. Discipline equals freedom because it removes the noise, the distraction, the addiction to delay, the cycle of blaming your job, your past, your fatigue. That's the trap, the chain. Radical self-responsibility cuts it. You don't overcome excuses by pushing harder. You overcome them by letting go of the story that they're valid, that you're a victim, that you're stuck. You are not stuck. You're attached to comfort, to struggle, to identity. Let go. That's where strength begins. Reconnect with purpose when the routine feels like a prison. Ask yourself, is this leading me toward who I want to become or keeping me in a loop? Mental toughness isn't built in isolation. It's built in surrender. Surrender to the discipline that demands you sleep early, that asks you to say no, that forces you to simplify, clarify, act. Freedom isn't found in rebellion. It's found in devotion to something greater than your excuses. Build inner strength by honoring your boundaries, by forgiving your past self and moving forward anyway, by creating space, emotional, mental, physical, to breathe, and in that breath, to choose again. This isn't about perfection, this is about power. Letting go doesn't mean weakness, it means wisdom, the kind that says, I no longer need to carry what's breaking me. Discipline isn't chains, it's the key. It's the system that lets your truth breathe. It's the structure that protects your growth. It's the ritual that holds your future when motivation doesn't show up. And when you live this way, structured, honest, grounded, you don't need control. You trust yourself. That's freedom. You don't need to know every step, just the next right one. Let go of the rest. Discipline equals freedom. Because letting go is how you begin. Most people live trapped by stories they didn't choose. Stories about not being good enough, strong enough, ready enough. But you're not a story, you're a force. And that force is buried under layers of control, guilt, and hesitation. You'll never start until you release what's weighing you down. Build inner strength by clearing space, mentally and emotionally, so your future can actually arrive. The more you cling to control, the less room you leave for clarity. Let go. That's not weakness. That's strategy. Discipline equals freedom because it helps you stop chasing everything that doesn't matter. You don't need 100 options. You need one decision, repeated daily, until it rewires your life. Radical self-responsibility is not blame. It's not shame. It's a declaration. Even if it wasn't my fault, it's still my move. That's where true power lives. In the present, in action, in letting go of the comfort of complaining. Mental toughness means showing up, not just to your goals, but to your reality. It's choosing to see yourself clearly without judgment. It's holding both grace and grit in the same hand. Reconnect with purpose by asking better questions. What do I value? What do I stand for? What am I tired of tolerating? You overcome excuses not by shouting them down, but by quietly replacing them with truth. Letting go isn't the end. It's the beginning of a self-led life. One where discipline is your devotion, not punishment. Where structure is your safety. Where you build daily, not because you have to, but because you can. This is your exit code. Out of chaos, out of control, into freedom. Let go and begin. This is not just advice, it's a call from Mindset Mastery Hub to let go of your excuses and reclaim your path. Discipline equals freedom. Let go and begin.